bedroom.
Not a lot of. It's not a lot of.
Happy New Year, guys. It's 2021. 2020. Really good year for just everything. Honestly, I was just, whoo! And with the new year comes the best of last year, right? So many good things to look back on, but as a film channel, I gotta look back on the best films of 2020. I've been making a list every year of the top movies of the year, and I gotta keep up. I gotta do it with this year too. I'm pretty good about seeing a lot of movies. I saw 101 movies in 2018. Saw something in the 80s or the 90s the year before. Last year I saw 22 films. 22 movies I saw. So coming in at number 10 is Artemis Fowl. This movie really just threw me way back to my childhood, if I gotta be honest with you. When I was in like 3rd grade and all the kids were reading that dog shit like Harry Potter or like Fahrenheit 451 for class and like To Kill a Mockingbird and all that other garbage. I was in the corner of the classroom eating my peanut butter and jelly sandwich in my peanut-free school, reading Artemis Fowl, and I've read the book about 267 times. I've read the entire franchise about 113, and I really thought that this movie, and Kenneth Branagh, who recently has just been slam dunking with his directing bouts, Thor, Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit, Murder on the Orient Express. He's just been pumping them out like they're his fucking job. I thought he really did justice to the story. I thought all of the performances were really good. The digging scene with Josh Gad gave me an erection, so the movie had that going for it. And after the movie, I went out to the Gap and I bought the kid's suit because I thought it was really cool, and I found it at Gap. It's also a Disney-produced film, and Disney can't make anything bad. Like, not one bad movie can Disney make. Disney's never made anything bad, especially now with their new streaming service, Disney+. Disney's never made anything bad. Disney, Disney, like, low-key, listen, I know you own, everything right now. I'm an up-and-coming filmmaker. I'm looking for a job in the industry. Like, anything that you could get, an internship, just, like, please. Coming in hot at number 9, it was pretty even with Artemis Fowl, is Sonic the Hedgehog. This was a really, really, really good movie. I've been excited for this movie for, I remember like 7 years ago when the first trailer came out to Gangsta's Paradise, and then they had to redo the entire movie. I thought that was a really good choice because that original trailer just didn't reflect my old days in the arcade playing Sega, and I'm really glad that they made that choice. I thought Jim Carrey was really snubbed out for an Oscar this year for Best Supporting Actor. I thought he should have won. They're going to give it to that guy from Get Out for the shitty, I don't know, that thing about it's like the sequel to Black Panther, I think. I don't know. I actually took my girlfriend to see this movie on Valentine's Day. It was a really good Valentine's Day film-going experience. And the dog's name in the movie is Ozzy, and her dog's name was Ozzy, and her dog had died about a year before, and we went out in the parking lot, and she threw her popcorn at me, hit me in the face, and broke up with me. So I have really good memories of this film. I really enjoyed seeing it. Coming in at number 8 is The King of Staten Island. This movie was definitely not the most boring and forgettable piece of garbage that I've seen since like Captain Marvel or some shit like that. Wait, fuck, that's Disney shit. Pete Davidson really throwing his dramatic acting chops out there. He does a really good job playing himself. Steve Buscemi comes in this movie as a firefighter about 96% of the way through. And you know what, dude, like, this movie's hella patriotic, man. Let's hear it for our firefighters out there. Any of you firefighters out there, stopping fires, putting fires out, saving kittens out of trees. You guys are the real heroes. And like anyone who gives this piece of shit a bad review, Like, come on. What do you not like firefighters? I mean, like, set your own house on fire and then don't have firefighters come and see what happens. Go get the hose, you know? Coming in at number 7 is the highly anticipated and really solid Zack Snyder's Justice League. I thought that this film was a masterpiece. It's not as much of a masterpiece as the top 6 masterpieces on my list are. It's a little less of a masterpiece than those 6 masterpieces. But I thought the aspect ratio was really good. It really honed you in on what was happening on the screen. I thought the visual effects were really good because it was very nostalgic for me. When I was growing up, I used to play video games on my PlayStation 2, and it just kind of brought me back to that. I don't know why, but it kind of like shows how far we've come in the special effects department in filmmaking. I thought all of the Flash's lines were really good and funny. I think that Marvel needs to work a lot more on their comedic relief. I think they need to be doing stuff like Ezra Miller is doing with his performance as the Flash, and I'm really looking forward to that spin-off Flash movie that every director and cast member has left except for Ezra Miller because nobody wants to hire him anymore. I thought all of Henry Cavill's lines were really, really good, especially his intro line. The action, I mean, like, come on, it's Zack Snyder, right? Like, Sucker Punch, the guy knows how to fucking direct action, like, come on. And, you know, it's a good one of these to Joss Whedon, who, you know, he might have made a shitty movie, but at least you were in and out of the theater in an hour and 45 minutes. Like, why would you want that? You know, with this, you can sit at home for 4 hours and question why, like, I don't know, you didn't go outside because it was, like, a nice day when the movie came out or something like that. I thought it was really good. I can't wait to watch it again in black and white. I think it's going to be even more of a masterpiece in black and white. I think it might even move up higher on my list. Who knows, you know? I had to talk to my lawyer about this next one because, you know, I've faced a lot of backlash on my channel recently about my opinions about promising young women. And so I talked to a lawyer and I was like, what do you think I should do? And they were like, well, make sure you have a very strong, powerful leading female on your list. And so I said, okay. So I couldn't put Wonder Woman 1984 below Zack Snyder's Justice League, so I put it above Zack Snyder's Justice League at number 6. I think Wonder Woman 1984 is a masterpiece. I don't think there's anything wrong with this movie. I think that, you know, Kristen Wiig puts on a really solid performance as Jamie Foxx playing Electro in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I thought she did a really, really good job as that villain. I thought she was really believable as a villain. You know, if I was an executive at DC and Patty Jenkins walked into my office and said, we need somebody to play this villain, which female action star that's working right now would you consider to play the villain? You know, Emily Blunt or someone like that wouldn't come into my mind first. I would definitely point to Kristen Wiig. I think she really had the action chops for this, and I think she really pulled it off well, in a real surprise to nobody. Pedro Pascal gives a performance on more cocaine than I'm on right now, and, like, you know, that's an achievement. So, you know, let's hear it for Pedro Pascal. And, like, what is there to say about Gal Gadot? I mean, like, come on. She's incredible. Still just, you know, every movie her acting just gets better and better and better. And I love her because I don't hate women. I really don't. Guys, please. And it's crazy, you know, I look back to the movie and it's like, it's funny because I don't remember a single scene out of it. But that's good because movies that sit with you and linger in your head and make you think about their messages and their themes and their tones, that shit's boring, and I want to see Wonder Woman lasso people in 1990 style visual effects. I think that's really good, and I think that was a really strong move from the DC universe to release this film in that way. It's also just very empowering because, you know, every time a little kid asks Wonder Woman if they can be like her someday, which they've done in about 6 movies now, and she says you can be anything, you know, even though that kid might not have Amazonian powers that can allow her to fly or jump really far or be invincible. They don't have a lasso that makes people tell the truth. You know, like, I mean, you can do anything, and I think that's a really strong message that our kids need to hear today. So, coming in at number 5 is Ben Affleck plays an alcoholic high school Catholic basketball coach. This movie really resonated with me because coming in at number 4 is Dolittle. I think Dolittle was really good, and I'm a little upset that it was nominated so much as it was at the Razzies because I don't really see, like, what's wrong with this movie. You have Iron Man and Spider-Man in the same movie, And I mean, the two of them are like Downey Jr. and Holland are some of the best actors working right now. I remember the interview where Daniel Day-Lewis was saying he was retiring after Phantom Thread because he just couldn't keep up with Tom Holland's performances and just how many roles he was getting, and it was just robbing Daniel Day-Lewis of all his roles. So he just kind of quit while he was ahead because people kept making fun of him. They're going, Tom Holland just keeps taking all your fucking. This movie reminded me a lot in the visual effects area of something like Justice League. You know, that scene where Robert Downey Jr. runs up to the Queen's palace or whatever happens in that movie. I haven't seen it since like January. When he runs up on the ostrich, I thought that was a really good scene, and that was a really good visual choice, and I thought that looked really good. Antonio Banderas is a really great villain, and I really like it when they the dragon farts at the end of the movie. I honestly don't even remember if that happened. I could totally just be making that up. I also had, like, when I went to see it, the theater, the speakers were blown out and they were broken. So for the first hour of the movie, it was like the whole thing was bass boosted and it was just like screaming fucking images into my ears. And I thought that really complemented the obnoxious and brutal fucking tone of that movie. Just cramming shit down your ears and your throat and taking your five senses and just fucking... Coming in at number 3 is Avengers Endgame. I know Avengers Endgame didn't come out this year, but it had a couple of re-releases, and it's not the highest grossing movie of all time anymore, which I think is bullshit, because, like, I don't know, I don't understand why anyone would, like, want to see anything else, because you have everything. It's a 3-hour visual effect fuckfest with everybody's favorite characters for the last few years. I remember when I was in middle school and I used to have bullies push me into the locker and call me mean names and take my lunch money because I would read comic books that Iron Man was in. And those bullies were in line when I went to go see Avengers Endgame on opening night. And that was really confusing to me, but they still pushed me into the icy machine and took all my lunch money. And that was kind of weird because it kind of seemed like we were bonding, but then it didn't really seem like we were bonding. But the movie's really good. Avengers Endgame should have won Best Picture a few years ago. Should have beat Parasite. I mean, that fucking thing. You had to read for that movie. And, like, you don't have to read anything in Avengers Endgame. You just watch. So I don't know what the fuck was going on with that. But I thought Avengers Endgame was really good, and it's number 3 on my list for that reason. Coming in at number 2 is The King of Staten Island again, because, like, firefighters, dude. Let's, come on. Everyone clap. Let's, yeah. Clap for the fire. I am clapping. Clap. Clap for the firefighters. What the fuck is wrong? And coming in at number 1 is Promising Young Woman. Coming in at number 1 is Promising Young Woman. You know, I rewatched it after I made my last video, and I just kind of realized, like, how wrong I was. Everyone's comments on that video just sort of snapped me into reality and just made me realize how stupid and petulant I was being for not liking a movie. And I rewatched it again, and I felt the exact same way about it. But it's my number 1 of the year now because I want to make sure that I please YouTube commenters. That's really important to me, and my lawyers said the same thing. So, Promising Young Woman is my number 1 of 2020.
Turn this